Hey, what's going on guys? Daniel from ModBot here, and in this video we're going to do a quick little first impressions of this printer we have in front of us, this behemoth of a printer we have in front of us. This is the JGAurora A5, which I got in, was it last night or the night before? I believe yesterday. I think it just came in. And I unboxed it on live stream. It took a lot of self-control. I was trying not to, but I ended up unboxing it on live stream. So the videos I plan on doing for it are 1, this first impression, 2, a first print, although it won't truly be a first print because I did print already this little doll money cat thing that came on the card, and I'm printing out a little hook for my buddy right now. But we'll do a big print, and that'll be like our first quote-unquote test print of the machine, followed up by a review in the next week or weeks here. So a quick little rundown of the machine. The machine is definitely pricier than the typical machines I review. Usually the machines I review are in the $200 to maybe $300 range. So this machine, if you purchase it off of Amazon or most other marketplaces, it retails for $500. It's like $499. But if you purchase it through GearBest, I don't know how long, or they have some kind of a deal with JGAurora, but it's currently going for like $375. So I'll link you guys in the description, because if you are planning on getting it, that's a pretty big price cut compared to its you know, $500 price tag that seems to be going for everywhere else. Most of the people in my live stream yesterday seemed to compare it to the Anycubic Mega. They said that it just seems like a bigger version of it in a lot of ways. And this machine is large. It is a very big machine. The build volume is, I believe, 305 by 305 by 320, or maybe it's 310 by 310 by 320, but right in that range. It is essentially ready to go out of the box, minus 7 screws. So the actual base of the unit with the touchscreen and the bed is separate from the square unit around it, just to save some space for shipping, because even with it like that, this box was insanely big and the machine is very heavy. So you connect the base of the printer to the frame around it just by 4 screws. That was really easy to set up. Then the filament holder just sticks onto the back with 3 small screws. Aside from that, you just have to level the bed, which was really easy. It took me all but a minute or two. In reality, on stream it took me about 40 minutes to set this up. 1, because my back's thrown out. 2, because I was trying to juggle it around other printers going on in my tiny room. But in all reality, this printer should be able to be set up in probably 15 or 20 minutes. Again, if nothing was damaged or rattled loose in shipping. The only thing I had loose in the box was a tiny one of the bed leveling screws, which was super easy to just put back on. And other than that, it was really solid. The machine's body seems like it's, I mean, at least at first glance, primarily all aluminum or sheet metal. Again, which adds a lot of weight to it, but it feels like a very solid machine. And this initial print that I printed with it, it was a pretty long print for how small it is. I think it was about 2 hours, which leads me to believe that it probably printed at like 0.1 layer height. But it turned out phenomenally. Really good. This is with the included white PLA, they give you a spool. I don't know how much, it's maybe like 1/4 of a kilogram or something like that, or 0.25 of a kilogram, but it turned out really nicely. It's got a Bowden style setup, so you probably won't be printing much flexible filament. If you look at the filaments that it supports, I believe it says ABS, PLA, PETG, and maybe it was nylon or something like that. So everything that I'll need is supported. It's got a huge bed, which is heated, which is really nice. And again, setup is just a breeze. They also include, you can probably see it sticking out on the right side right there, it is a USB flash drive. It's so weird to me because all the machines I've used take like micro SD cards or SD cards, but this machine actually takes a USB flash drive, and they included a 16 gig flash drive, which is going to be large enough for hundreds and hundreds of prints. Usually I use 8 gig micro SD cards, and I've not been able to fill that on any of my machines, so that's really cool. They give you a lot of storage with it. But yeah, so I'm really excited to test this out. I'm really excited to see, once I go large with it, how well it's able to hold up once it gets to the higher levels of printing, since again, right now the only thing I printed on it was really small. But I'll probably be doing like a vase and maybe something even more detailed than that that's large, so we can get a whole look at it. So far, I'm not really minding the touchscreen interface either. Again, this is not really supposed to be a full review because that's coming later on, so I don't want to get too into everything. But I will show you guys just really quickly here the front interface. Hopefully you guys can see that all right, but it's got a color touchscreen, which so far it seems to be working relatively well. I'll take you guys through the options real quick here, but again, I'll talk more about this in the final review of the machine. But you got heat, which allows you to adjust the extruder or the bed by touching it to let you switch between the two. It'll show you what it was set to or what it was going to, and right now it's actually declining, but you can up the temperature by 1 Celsius at a time, 5 Celsius, or 10 Celsius, and then you use the plus or minus to, again, set that. So now I set it to 200, back down to 180, and then again flop over to the bed, and you can do the exact same thing on there. So that's what that does. Movement, you can just move everything, so I can go Z up a little bit. So it's going up, and you can change the increments to 1 or 10, 0.1, 1, or 10, so it's going there. We can make the Y go forward, or this way, X as well. So you got movements, you can do that. You got home, which again, you get home either all the axes or X, Y, or Z, so we'll just home all of them real quick here. So now we've got the Z axes homing. So that does that. Print just loads up. This is a file explorer that's on the SD card. So again, I can choose like the money cat that it came with, and if I hit confirm, it'll start printing right away. So that's that. It's really simple. Extrude will allow you to, where did I see this? Well, I guess this is just an extrude or retract or extrude option if you want to manually feed or not feed filament. Also, bed leveling. All this does, which again I'll show you in the review, but it just has predefined points, so top left, right, bottom left, which you can just click there to have the nozzle travel there, and then you can make sure that the bed is level on each side, which doesn't really save you much time, but I mean, whatever, if it's here, I used it and it worked fine. So then you've got set. I do remember, I think MakerMe saying that the Wi-Fi didn't really do anything, so I don't know if they've updated that in firmware. I'll have to check that out. But for changing the filament, this is kind of cool. When you first load it up, it goes to the temperature, and then if you press in, it'll literally load from the second it touches where the stepper motor is all the way through the Bowden tube, and then again out will do the same thing but in reverse if you want to change filament out. So that worked really well. That was pretty cool. And then more, I don't think there's anything right now. No. So that's it. A couple of the cool features it has is if the power goes out, it can continue when you plug it back in where it left off, which is nice. It's got a filament runout sensor, which I believe has like a really loud alarm when it goes out, but it'll allow you to pause your print and continue that, which is another cool feature. The bed has kind of like a diamond type pattern to it, which again is what people were telling me is kind of like the Anycubic Mega, but so far the prints seem to stick extremely well and come off very easily in the end, which is pretty kick-ass. So it definitely feels like a $500 or $400 machine, I will say, in comparison to like the kits I've gotten for 200 bucks. It feels heavy duty, you've got a larger build area, you've got some pretty sweet features, and setup is a breeze. So it'll be fun to see how this thing can print with big size, and it'll have a lot of fun using this machine for prototyping things later on for my own little projects and whatnot. So once again, this is the JGAurora A5. I will place a link in the description over to GearBest, which is the cheapest place to get it from my research. From everything I've seen so far. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer there, and if not there, then in the final review I'll try to answer all those questions I have gotten from you guys. So on that note, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.